Welcome everyone. Hey there. Whoa, we got a big influx coming in. Hey everyone, welcome. My name is Eleni Sommerschield. I am here in Fountain Hills at our home office, and I am joined today by Michael Hellickson, a good friend of ours. And we want to welcome you to today's podcast, the CRM habits that build success in real estate. So we're going to be talking all about good CRM habits, good habits in general to be having when you're running a real estate business. If you guys wouldn't mind, I think we're live on Facebook. Yes, we are. If you guys wouldn't mind, in the chat, post what city, state, and brokerage and how many years you've been in the industry. I love seeing that, Michael. You know, I mean, we both travel quite a bit. I love seeing where people are coming from because I'm like, okay, who's in the Bahamas? Who's in, Hawaii that needs a CRM training? I'll volunteer and come out to the Bahamas. I'll take one for the team and do that. So
I really like it when they put their production in there because it helps me to understand how, who I'm speaking to so that we can tailor the content to the people that are here. So not just how long you've been in the business, but if you guys could type in, how many transactions did you close last year? That would, again, it would really help me to kind of tailor my answers and my comments to kind of where you guys are at. Because it matters, right? I mean, if I'm speaking to an audience of brand new agents, that's very different than an audience of, people that are doing 500 to 1,000 transactions a year. It's I want to give them different advice because they're in a different place in their business.
Absolutely. And I always love hearing what people are like, oh, I've got a huge database. I've got, 10,000 people in my database. And I'm like, that's fantastic, but you don't get paid by the number of people that you know. You get paid by the number of deals that you complete. So that, I love what you're asking for there. So if you guys would be so bold and to put that in there, I'd love seeing that as well. So we've got people all over the country joining in. And
I was gonna say, I just saw Jeff is up there at Big Block, and Sunit, by the way, shout out to Sunit. Sunit, when I met him, he was just he was trying to figure out real estate, and by the time he'd been a coach with us, or a client with us, and a coach with us for a long time, he ended up crushing it, and boy, he's doing well today. But before I forget, Eleni, if I could just mention this, you were talking about habits that help people succeed using a CRM in real estate, and as I hear that, it's almost like nails on a chalkboard for me. And here's what I mean by that. Because I don't understand how people can be in real estate and not have a great CRM. And there's still people on this planet, and it blows me away, but there are literally agents out there today that are still using freaking spreadsheets to run their business. And I just think, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? How are you even surviving in this business?
Yeah, I know. I cringe too. I'm always like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm always like apologetic. I'm like, I'm so sorry, but we can help you with that. It's like a problem. I know some people love their spreadsheets, but it's time. The problem with the spreadsheet is that it's a flat, it's a flat database. It does not have, it's not multifaceted like a database would. It's just rows and columns, where a database is more robust than that. And that's what you really need.
I guess. It's funny because there's a lot of important aspects to having the right CRM. And I'll tell you this, obviously you've got to have all the right contact information, name, phone, email address, all that kind of stuff. That's important. But what I think the single most important function of a CRM is, and some people aren't going to like hearing this, but I'll tell you that this is what I think the most important function, and every CRM will do this, right? Don't get me wrong. You guys at Wise Agent, you guys have functionality that would cost $1,500 a month or more to get with most CRMs, and you guys have it for virtually nothing. I mean, I shouldn't say this, but your CRM is virtually free. I mean, yes, there's a cost, but it's so minuscule.
I know. So many people tell me that, and I'm like, you guys are trying to convince me to raise the prices. I mean,
it is. There is not a better CRM out there, dollar for dollar. And guys, I work with all the top agents across the country, and I got to tell you that you're not even going to get anything remotely close to what you get with Wise Agent for even remotely close to the dollar. That being said, I got to share this: the most important function of a CRM in a spreadsheet can't do this. It's that next follow-up date. And it's not just, I can have a next follow-up date in my spreadsheet, but no, it's more complicated than that, because the CRM needs to be prompting you when it's time to contact somebody, particularly by phone. Now, obviously, we want other things like drip campaigns and all that kind of stuff. You guys have great, not only or functionality within the CRM, but you've got great integrations with other resources outside the CRM. Yeah. But I got to tell you, that next follow-up date, if you guys aren't putting a next follow-up date every single time you talk to somebody, you might as well just be saying, screw that person. I don't want to do business with them ever. Because if you don't follow up with them, the chances of them following up with you are so minuscule. And hello, Anna. It's nice for you to say hi. Mike, good to see you.
And it's funny that you say that, Michael, because a few years back when we redid our contact notes on the contact summary page and just our call list and everything else, there was one thing that I insisted our development team did, and that was include, and I almost made it that it wasn't optional, like you couldn't opt out of a follow-up, where it was like, you know, it was required. I had it required. And then I had we had a few complaints and I was like, why are you guys complaining? I'm trying to remind you that you need to follow up. There's a checkbox that says follow up, and then you set the date and time to follow up and the reason why you're following up. That is all done there because you need that reminder. It is so vital that you follow up. In real estate, you never meet somebody, like I didn't meet Michael today and then, okay, Michael, you want to buy a house? Fantastic. And then tomorrow we're at the closing table. That doesn't ever, it never works that way. It never works that way. It takes time. And that time, all those days between the intro, the first meet to the closing table could be months. It could be, if someone said 10 days of pain, it could be more than 10 days.
Well, and I'm glad you brought that up. And so that was Doug Campbell that brought that up. And Doug, thank you for the comment. And we're going to get to your Q&A as well. I see you guys have Q&A. Oh, somebody just answered it. Okay. But that being said, guys, Ben Kinney came up with that 10 days of pain as kind of a response to something we created about, I don't know, 25 years ago. And I want you to write this down. We've tailored it and we call it now the Club Wealth Rule of 3. So what we're talking about here is how frequently and how tenaciously should I follow up with people? And there's really two keys to follow up. Number one is speed to lead, and your CRM is critical to this, right? Because you want your leads coming into one spot. And then when your leads come into that one spot, you want to instantaneously be notified and be making sure you're making that call from your CRM or in conjunction with your CRM so that you're taking the notes down in your CRM about what happens on that call. So your speed to lead needs to be, get this, 30 seconds or less. Okay. Yes, Anna, I said the Club Wealth Rule of 3, and I'm going to walk you through that here and give you exactly what it is. Now, I'm going to give you the basic version of it. And then what you want to do is you want to program that into your CRM. You can program that into Wise Agent. It works very, very well. It's very easy to do. But essentially, there's 6 different ways you want to follow up. Okay. Here's the 6 ways. You want to follow up by phone, text, email, video, text, video, email, phone, text, email, video, text, video, email, phone, text, email, video, text, video, email. And then my personal favorite is you're going to Facebook stalk them, right? It's funny because people, I always tell people that stalking used to be a 3 to 5 year sentence. Now it's a 6-figure income. I know, wrong, right?
I love that.
Wrong. It's terrible. I can't believe I'm going to say all kinds of stuff that's going to offend you guys today. But, and by the way, can we, before I finish the rule of 3, Eleni, can I just share, because I really believe that there should be credibility behind the message. I think it's crazy in this business how people take advice from people that have never even sold a house before. Guys, you need to make sure that if you want to climb to the top of Mount Everest, you've had a guide that's been to the top of Mount Everest before.
Yeah, that's gotten it before.
All right, so let me just give you guys really quick. So so by way of credibility, I sold real estate for just over 30 years. I was the #1 agent on planet Earth for a long time. I was closing 120 to 180 transactions every month. And I had 750 listings in active and pending status in any given time. Now I own a company called Club Wealth. We're the #1 coaching company in the team and brokerage space. We also work with solo agents, but we're really known as the team building company. All right, that being said, let's come back to the rule of 3.
Yeah.
So you're going to do those 5 and those 6 follow-up methods. And then you're going to do it. Here's the frequency. Okay. The 2 things that are key are speed lead and frequency, or tenacity of follow-up. And this frequency is going to scare some of you. You're not going to like this and you're going to think it's too much, but I'm telling you, it's critical. You're going to contact them in one of those 6 ways 3 times a day for the first 3 days. Write this down, grab a pen, write this down. 3 times a day for the first 3 days, 3 times a week for the next 3 weeks, 3 times a month for the next 3 months, 3 times a year for the next 3 years. I'll give you that one more time. 3 times a day for the first 3 days, 3 times a week for the next 3 weeks, 3 times a month for the next 3 months, 3 times a year for the next 3 years. And guys, you're going to think that's too much, but I promise you this, the National Association of Realtors does a study every year. And you know what they find is the #1 complaint consumers have about real estate agents by far. Eleni, do you know what it is?
Well, the follow-up.
It's lack of communication. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so it's not that agents follow up too much. It's that agents never follow up.
Never
Watch
follow
this.
up, yeah.
How many of you will follow the rule of 3 in your follow-up? Type in rule of 3 in your chat. I want to see how many of you will actually do it. Because I'll tell you this, if you want to make more money in the next 12 months, all you got to do is follow the rule of 3. If you just do that, that one thing right there will help you make more money. And I'm telling you, the way to do it is you put them in your CRM and you make sure your CRM is telling you where you're at in that process and making sure that you're following through on that process. Now watch this. If I get a hold of them on the first call, I'm not going to keep calling them that day.
Yeah, I was about to mention that. Yeah. So if you if you talk to them at 9 a.m., there's no need to call them at noon and then at 7, unless you're inviting them over for lunch and dinner, right? So it's kind of, it should be, you know, make it make sense and make it work for you guys. I mean, it really, and I love that. I was jotting it down because I wanted, and so hopefully if you guys wrote it down, I didn't write all, I was kind of writing in shorthand. Because my nails are too long, it'd be all clickety clack is what you would hear here. So if you guys wrote that down, go ahead and post that in there. Lindsay, I know that you're saying, "Woo, that's scary." I don't know. What I love, Michael, what you said is that it tapers down a little bit over the years. But what really works here, folks, is that, because like what we said earlier, you don't meet somebody and the next day you're at the transaction table. You're not, there's no funds being exchanged at that point. It takes time. And typically there's, I think that, and it depends on the lead source. If it's an internet lead, it's at least a minimum of 8 touches before they even start the conversation with you. Now, mind you, I said before they start the conversation with you, not at conversion, not that they're like, now, like, I'm going to work with you. It's before they even have the conversation with you.
That's right.
So really, it will take time. Michelle, thank you so much for writing that out. So this is, and I'm going to scan it and see this. 3 times a day, for 3 days. It will build you up to make this habit, and habits are what will create success for you. So, you know, kind of heed this advice. I think this is something that, I mean, that advice alone, Michael, it's kind of like mic drop, we're done. I think we could end it here. All right, everyone, right? I mean, I think this is something that's going to just change your whole entire outlook on your whole entire business, is if you do that.
I'll tell you what, I've got a son. His name is Austin, and Eleni, you know who he is. You've met him before. And Austin he started selling real estate last year, beginning of 2022. He was 19 years old. He started January 1. He listed 97 homes himself last year. That's without counting his team or anything like that. Just him. He listed 97 homes last year. He follows this 3x3, this Club Wealth rule of 3. And I'm telling you, it freaking works. He made $700,000 in commission income last year following that program. And if it works for a 19-year-old kid that looks and sounds like he's still in puberty, man, it can work for you guys too. I promise you. I really, and I love him, don't get me wrong, but let's call it what it is. I mean, this kid literally, like, he looks like Howdy Doody and Doogie Howser got together and had a kid, man. He's a great kid, don't get me wrong, but dude, I'm telling you, it's all about you guys. You can make up for, and I love it, even at 50. Yes, Michelle, even at 50, age doesn't matter. I'll tell you who else is really good at this is a guy named Robert Slack. Robert was the #1 real estate agent on planet Earth last year. Robert is in Florida. He did 6,600 transactions last year. And his average speed to lead, 16 seconds. If you don't think they follow up tenaciously, let me tell you, they do. And Robert started selling real estate when he was 72 years old. He was the #1 agent on planet Earth by the time he was 75. 3 years it took him. Guys, this is doable. You can do it 100%. Whatever market you're in, you can do it in your market. You can do it right now with what the marketplace is doing. I promise you.
Absolutely. And the other thing too is I always hear people say, well, so-and-so is unsubscribed from my emails. How do I get them to re-engage with me? And how come they're not listening? Like, kind of, well, if you haven't segmented your audience, if you're sending them the wrong message, they will unsubscribe to you. If you start sending me a message about sports and, going to see a baseball game, especially a baseball game, I'm going to roll my eyes and I'm going to be like, this person clearly knows nothing about me. I do not care to watch baseball unless my son is in a little league game and playing himself. I care nothing about baseball. You want to make sure that when you are calling, so the phone calls that you're making, because it is important, and the messages that you're sending, it's really important that you are not just saying gibberish, that you are actually providing some value and offering something of value to them that they can take and do something with. And also they can take action on. If you're sending a text message that just says, hey, I'm here, I hope everything is well, how are you, or whatever, they might not reply because they're not compelled. I mean, is that right, Michael? I mean, if I just say, hey, Michael, it's Eleni, how are you? I mean, that's going to be a dull conversation.
No, you definitely want to make sure that your message is tailored to your audience, and you will get much, specifically when we're talking about, open rates, opt-in rates, opt-out rates, those definitely are impacted by how well tailored your message is to the audience. For example, if I'm working with buyers, I want to send them information about buying a home, not about selling a home, right? Or if I'm working with somebody who's in a rough spot, maybe they're behind on their payments, I want to send them, information about how they can save their house, how we can help them keep their home, or how we can dispose of it without any cost to them. There's lots of things you can do to tailor that message, but your CRM is key to it, because you can impact this with tagging and that sort of thing, to really dial in what messages am I sending to which type of people. I saw earlier somebody had asked if Wise Agent has a texting option, and I noticed that Sarah had actually answered that yes, you do. And I will tell you guys, email, it's okay. Your open rates on email are going to be, if you're really, really good at email, you're going to get a 14% open rate. But text messages, 97% open rate, guys. 97%. People read text. So we need to make sure text is a part of our follow-up program. And by the way, we also had the Porsches were asking she said, wow, bravo to your son. What state are you in? We're in Washington State. He covers all of Washington State.
And there's a question here from Sue Proctor asking, what do you say when you call for a general follow-up? I love this question. I love this question, Michael, too. I'm like, when I saw it, I'm like, okay, this is my opinion. I'd love to hear yours too, is I say, do the 3 H's, which is humble yourself, right? So humble yourself. Like if you've lost touch, then just say, I'm so sorry that I've lost touch with you. I don't know what happened. I suck. I don't know what happened. And then be a human and just say like, how are things going? How's life treating you? How's the family? And then and that first step is pick up the phone to say hello. You have to make that phone call. The first touch should be the phone call, so they can hear your voice, hear the joy in your voice. Don't be grumpy grumperson or mopey moperson. I don't like those two people. Be happy about it, right? Take a cue from Michael. He's always got this ball. He's got all this energy all the time. You have to get that energy, slam down a Red Bull, and then make those phone calls. Right.
So Michael, did you just say grumpy grumperson?
Yeah, grumpy grumperson. Grumpy grumperson and mopey moperson. I don't like those two people. Those people cannot be in my life.
Okay. So you're very much on the right track. You're very much on the right track in terms of what follow-up should look like. So I'll say this. Stop calling people and saying, are you ready to buy yet? Are you ready to sell yet? Like, they know you're a real estate agent. They get it. Here's the script. I'm not a huge scripts guy, but there's about 25 scripts that you really do need to memorize. And I'm going to give you the world's greatest follow-up script. All right. This is kind of a freebie from me here. All right. Write this down. Write it down word for word. Every time you call somebody to follow up with them, I simply want you to say, I just want to make sure I'm not dropping the ball on my end. I just want to make sure I'm not dropping the ball on my end. Let me tell you, when you say that, it changes the conversation. You go from, and remember, because we're real estate agents, right? So they think of us as sleazy sales people, right? We're ranked somewhere below attorneys and used car salespeople. But instead, if you say, I just want to make sure I'm not dropping the ball on my end, guess what they'll say? It's, oh my gosh, Michael, thank you so much for calling. It's not you, it's me. It's like that girl in high school, right? You guys know who I'm talking about. Yeah. Right. But what happens is all of a sudden now you become positioned as a servant who cares. And isn't that a better way to be positioned? Right. And so we want to make it about them. Another thing that you want to do, write these 2 acronyms down. This is very important. Okay. And Eleni touched on this just a little bit. I want you guys to write this down. So every call we make, every conversation we have, we want to do something called Brot, B-R-O-T. And if you speak German, you know that stands for bread. So for a while, for 2 years, I served a mission for the church over in Germany. If you want to learn how to sell, go sell religion to Germans right after the wall came down. Okay. Now, some of you don't even know what I'm talking about. You weren't around when there was a wall, but there used to be this big wall in Berlin, right? And long story short, they told us that Brot is the bread of life. And it was part of the commitment pattern, right? So what is Brot? Brot is, write this down, building relationships on trust. Building relationships on trust. That's what we need to do. You know, there's this misnomer. Everybody always says, oh, people have to know, like, and trust you to do business with you. That's hogwash. They don't have to like you. They really don't. They just have to trust you, right? So think about this. As a seller, especially, now buyers, it's nice if buyers like you, but as a seller, they don't even need to like you. As a seller, they just want to know that, hey, you're going to give me the most amount of money in the least amount of time with the least amount of headache to me. And if you can do that, I'll work with you, even if I don't like you. Watch this. How many of you love your attorney? Right? Nobody likes their attorney, but what you want is you want a freaking pit bull with an attitude, right? They trust them, and sellers, that's what they're looking for too. So what do we need to focus on? Build relationships on trust. Now, how do we do that? Eleni mentioned something. She talked about being human, right? Watch this. We're going to use something called the Ford technique. Write this down. This is very important. Ford stands for, I'm not talking about fix or repair daily or found on road dead. It's not what we're talking about. That's a whole nother kind of Ford. I'm talking about family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. So what you're going to do is when you have conversations with people, you're going to ask them open-ended questions about their family, their occupation, their recreation, and their dreams. And you're going to get them to do 90% of the talking. If you can get them to do 90% of the talking, you both win. Because relationships will be built, trust will be built, right? We'll get into rapport with them, and you'll be able to move them further down the path toward whatever it is their dreams and goals are. So there you go.
Yeah, because definitely you should not be making a phone call and saying, hey, do you want to buy or sell every every day for 3 days, 3 times for 3 weeks. Don't do that. Don't do that.
The only thing worse than saying that, here's the only thing that's worse than calling them up and asking, well, are you ready to buy yet? Are you ready to sell yet? Yeah. It's at the end of your conversation saying some freaking cheesy script like, oh, by the way, if you were thinking of buying or selling a home or had a friend or family member who was, do you have a realtor you'd refer them to? I don't care how great your cheesy Irish accent is. That is the most self-serving script on the planet. Stop freaking using it. Because if you haven't called me in 3 years and you hit me with that script, man, we're not friends anymore. You just showed me that you have no interest in me. You only care about me as a number and as a dollar sign, right? I'm not interested at that point. And Eleni again nailed it with, call them up and say you're sorry. If you haven't talked to your database in a while, call them up and say, gosh, Eleni, I am so sorry. I have completely dropped the ball. I have not followed up with you. And I just want you to know that I care about you. I feel terrible, and I'm going to do a better job of keeping in touch with you.
Like I tell my kids when they're, afraid to do something, I'm like, like public speak or do whatever. I'm like, no one's going to throw a tomato at you. No one's going to start booing and hissing and, throwing spitballs at you. That's not how life works outside of high school. Right. And so no one's going to do that to you. No one's going to start yelling at you and swearing at, and if they do,
they will. They'll do that.
They might. They'll cuss you out. They might. And that's okay.
On them. That's not you. Yeah. That's them.
And it is. Yeah. It's like, that's okay. You got to have a little bit of thick skin in this industry. You can't take that and be like, oh, and then it ruins your day. And then you become mopey moperson. You can't allow that to happen. You have to, you just have to move on. But if you come at it from like, hey, so I'm so sorry, Michael, I don't know what happened and how I dropped the ball. I'm just calling to see, how's the family? How's everything going? How's Austin? How's Tara? How's everyone doing over there? I've missed you guys. I'm sorry I haven't been around. Then what's he going to say? Like, yeah, you do suck. And then hang up on me? All right, well, there you go. But it could, but 9 out of 10 times, it's not going to happen like that. It really won't. And so,
Sue's got a great question, by the way. Yeah. She says, what if you didn't drop the ball and you regularly follow up? Then what do you say? Here you go. Okay. Now, if you're in rapport, okay, and if you're using your CRM properly, you're going to know, because you're going to see all the notes, right? You're going to know how often you've been in touch. You've been inviting them to your client events. And I'm telling you right now, that's important. You need to be inviting them to client events. In fact, if you want to get more business out of your sphere of influence, the two things you do is you put them in your CRM. 2, you're going to invite them to 4 client events per year. Okay. And it doesn't need to be expensive. It could just be, you know, a barbecue in your backyard. It doesn't matter what it is, but you're going to call everybody in your sphere and you're going to invite them to that event. Now, that being said, what do you say? You literally just call them up and say, hey, how you doing? I haven't talked to you in a while, or, you know, maybe I talked to you last week. Hey, I just want to let you know, I've got a barbecue in my backyard here in the next few weeks. And I just wanted to see, you know, we're inviting all our friends and family and clients, and just wanted to see if you wanted to come out and enjoy a burger on me. That's it. It doesn't have to be complicated. Now, I ask them whenever you have an opportunity, go deep with people, right? Ask them deep questions about, you know, their family, their occupation, recreation, and dreams. Find out, you know, how the kid's doing, and write down, like, let's say they say, hey, my son's got a baseball game coming up. Next time you talk to him, so you put that in the CRM. Hey, you know, Billy's got a baseball game. Next time you call up, you say, how did Billy's baseball game do? Did they win?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it changes the game. Yes.
Be human. Be human.
Yeah.
How would you want, you know, how would you want someone to treat you? It's also, I mean, the recreation, I love that. That's kind of, you know, like, oh, I can't remember the kid's name. You should be putting everything into the CRM, right? And that's when you refer back to everything, because you can't remember everybody's kids and their spouses and everything else, and what their occupation is and what their recreational activities are. But you put it in and you say, you know, Michael's into, I'm going to make some stuff up here. Michael, he's into UFC, because I do know a little bit about UFC. He's into UFC.
I would never, I don't want to get hit, so I'm not into that.
I know. Well, I do watch UFC fights. My husband likes it, so I watch it.
Makes me sad for the guy that's getting his butt whooped.
Well, I do say I end up having like a sleepless night if someone gets majorly injured. Some guy had his eye poked out and it was bleeding, and I was up all night Googling, like, did he go blind? And don't get me down that rabbit hole.
How did we go down there? Oh my gosh.
But anyways, so I do watch tonight. See, even here on this podcast, you guys have heard things about my life story, about my life that you know, so if I was one of your clients, you would be calling and say, did you see that UFC fight? Even though you don't watch UFC, you can just Google really quickly what happened with the fight, what was happening, and then try and have some kind of, like, so I don't know much about UFC, but tell me, what is it that you like about UFC? How did you get into it, or whatever it is?
Okay, so let's take
show some interest.
I want to take this a step further, a little bit. I wouldn't even Google it. I'd chat GPT that stuff. I'd be like, hey, what's important to somebody that likes UFC right now? Right? Yeah. Because you never know, like, a big fight might be coming up. Who knows what's going on, right? But I would literally be searching that on chat GPT and let chat GPT tell you what's important to them, right? Or if you want to get really crazy, what's important to Eleni Sommerschield on when it comes to UFC, right? All of a sudden, you'd be surprised, how much information you can get there. So that said, it really helps to keep track of this stuff inside your CRM. It really does. And so I can tell you that more often than not, the cash conversion. So there's 2 things. You know, let's back up. Let's talk about lead generation and lead conversion, right? Yeah. It's Chat GPT, actually, Beth. And if you just Google Chat GPT, you'll find out way more than you want to know about.
And I think Sarah can post something, because we do have that integration with them. So you can use, so let me, you know what, Michael, just so we can, I'm going to show this, because I think this will be interesting to, I was going to show that, but now I didn't. So I'm going to show the integration with ChatGPT 3, and it's actually 3.5 now that we've upgraded to the newest release. And so you can come here and create letters or email content, or even text content using our AI writing assistant. So let's say I want to write a text. Now this, folks, you know, you shouldn't be sending a book via text messages. So you can come in here and say, write a text message on why, why is UFC so popular? Whatever it is, and I can have this prompt, and now it will, try and help me kind of understand why someone would be interested in this. And now I can get that and say, like, hey, so I heard you really love UFC. Tell me a little bit about, like, what makes it so popular for you? What makes it so interesting and intriguing to you? You can do all sorts of things and put this in your library of content, so then when you're sending out something to your clients, you have all of that content in here. You can save it, you can store it, you can go back to it at any time. And you can do it for text, you can do it for emails, you can have it write a poem about something, a song. I mean, and then also put what tone you want it in. Do you want
I
to
was
know
just going to say, why
professional?
don't you have it write a song about UFC by Snoop Dogg, written by, you know, or sung by Snoop Dogg, written by Martha Stewart. That'd be very interesting.
Okay.
I'd enjoy that one. Now, while you're doing that, guys, I want to talk a little lead generation with you really quick here. By the way, this is impressive that you guys have the integration with ChatGPT. I think it's pretty cool. But let me just talk lead generation with you real quick while that's generating. Guys, you need to generate a lot of leads, and you need to make this a big part of your day every single day. There's 3 things you have to do every day, no matter what, if you want to be successful in real estate. 1 is lead generation, 2 is lead follow-up, 3 is lead conversion. You have to do it. Oh my gosh, look at this.
Yeah, and that took like no time.
There's
so
the song.
so now it has, here's the song. I could, you know, I'm not going to wrap it. That's not going to happen, but now I can put it in. I can put it in here in my groups. I can say, this is the song about UFC, and then, you know, Snoop. This is going to be my Snoop song on UFC. And now this is the really cool part, is because now it will be saved in here. And so now anytime I go to create a drip campaign, an email, anything, I go to respond to a lead, right? Any of the leads that are coming in automatically, I want to respond to them. I can come in here and use my content, my saved content. And I have stuff in here that I saved before. So here's, I forgot what I already called it already. So there's my memory. Here it is, song on UFC. So now here it is. And then this could be an email that goes out.
So I wouldn't recommend sending necessarily a song about UFC to your clients, but
not.
if they're into UFC and that's their thing, then go for it.
Yeah.
So that being said, you've got to have lots of lead sources, guys. You know, the days of sphere of influence being your entire source of business they're gone. You've got to have a lot more lead sources than just your sphere. And in order to do that, you're going to have to make sure that those lead sources come into your CRM, and that you have drip campaigns that will automatically follow up with them, right? So you're going to want to have as much as you can. You'll have maybe some AI working on them. Maybe you'll have, just straight up drip campaigns working on them. And then, of course, you need to be making phone calls. So yes, Archie, it's lead gen, lead follow-up, and lead conversion, right? So it doesn't do any good to generate a bunch of leads if I don't convert them. And the easiest way to convert them is to follow up. But there's 2 things you have to understand about lead generation. There's ROI, which most people understand. And then there's cash conversion cycle. And this is something most people don't understand. And if you don't have a great CRM, it's really hard to understand what the cash conversion cycle is for your lead sources. So ROI is return on investment. Like, I give $1 to a lead source, how many dollars do I get back? Cash conversion cycle is I spend $1, how long does it take me to get my dollar back, right? This is very important. Now, most lead sources that are high ROI also tend to be long cash conversion cycles, right? So the more money I can make on it, the longer it takes me to get to that money. It takes a lot more effort, right? And that means I got to make sure I'm using my CRM properly. One of my good friends that does over 800 transactions a year was tracking his results with Zillow and Realtor.com leads, right? And so what he was looking at was, oh my gosh, I'm a year, because he looked at just the 1 year, jumped into his CRM, looked at what does this look like over the last year? And it looked like he was losing money on those lead sources over the last year. But then he thought, hey, wait a minute, I don't think I'm actually losing money on these, but something's wrong. So he said, well, what if I move it to 16 months instead of the last 12 months? And what he found was that between months 12 and 16, he was ridiculously profitable on both Zillow and Realtor.com. But if he only looked at it over the last year, he looked like he was losing money. The only way he could figure that out is because he was tracking all this in his CRM, you guys. You have to do this. You have to.
Yeah, and that's why it's important. That's why we've put in there, like on every contact summary, the date that you met them, when did you add them into the CRM? It's really important you have some of these statistics on your clients, so then you can go back and make these informed decisions on, do I want to continue buying leads from this portal, or do I want to double down on this source or that one? Because now you're going to be able to make those better financial decisions to increase your bottom line. I mean, that's what it's all about. It really is.
Yep, absolutely. Again, guys, it's all about using your CRM. Now watch this. You want to know the number one thing that you can do if you want to make money using your CRM? use it every day. That's
Plug
it.
into
Use it every
day.
day. And this is lost on so many agents, right? A lot of agents, they don't log into their CRMs on a daily basis. Listen, you guys need to have something called the perfect daily schedule. Write this down. Perfect daily schedule. I'll even give you a link. You can go get a copy of a video of me teaching you how to develop your perfect daily schedule. But what you need to do is you need to time block your day. And there's ways that work better than others, right? As an example, you want to do the hardest things first thing in the morning. Get those out of the way, right? Brian Tracy, a good friend of mine, talks about eat the frog, right? He's not a good friend of mine, but he's an acquaintance of mine. He talks about eating the frog, right? So you get that hard thing done first thing in the morning. And usually that's making your phone calls. And so as you design your perfect daily schedule, if you design those things early in the morning and you do it every single day and you develop the habit of doing this, guess what? The success follows. And the nice thing is that what that means is you'll be in your CRM every morning, and every morning your CRM is going to tell you, hey, this is what I need to do. So go to, can I give them the link?
Yeah, go for it.
Just go to clubwealth.com/PDS. clubwealth.com/PDS, as in perfect daily schedule. Go watch that. It's free. You just go there and you can watch the video. And if you want to download the checklist on how to create one, you want to download some sample PDSs, then you can just download them right there. And again, it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. All I want you to do though is I want you to get in the right habits every day, because that's the key. Like if you're in the right habits, you don't even have to be a great salesperson. Look at me. My mom even told me I've got a great face for radio, right? So I'm not the best looking guy out there. I'm not the best salesperson, but I was the #1 agent on the planet. Why? Because I had the right habits, right? You can do it too. You totally can. Yeah. Isn't that a great book, Jacqueline? I agree.
And you know what? I mean, that's why we have, we started this about over a year ago, where you're getting your daily emails every single day that you check your email. I think it's at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. You're getting an email from Wise Agent saying, this is what's on your calendar for the day. These are the tasks. In the last 24 hours, these are the leads that have come into your CRM. These are the people that have a birthday or home sale anniversary. This is telling you, this daily email is telling you what you need to be doing. So call the people that have a birthday. Be that human that says happy birthday to somebody. Record a video of yourself and just saying happy birthday. Hope that this day is a great day. The year is whatever you want to say. And then you can use that over and over again. They're not going to, make sure you're not sending it to the spouse of that person and you're wearing the same outfit. And then that might be a little crazy, but record a couple of versions of that video and send it out to people that are celebrating a birthday. So, it just really can be really simple. It doesn't have to be overly complicated. It really doesn't.
You want to take that? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I love what you said about the time blocking. I time block throughout my life. It's just made everything so much easier when you are because I will create a habit where like every Monday morning, this is what you do. Every, in the afternoons, these are the tasks that you do. It becomes a habit, and then you become conditioned into doing these things. It becomes second nature.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. The birthday thing, I love what Doug just said. I sing happy birthday to all the birthdays I have via video. Yeah. And Doug, that's exactly what I was just going to say, but I want to take it to another level. What you do is you do that on their Facebook page. And what'll happen is you do it the night before, because then you'll be one of, if not the first person to wish them a happy birthday. And because it's video, you'll get ranked higher in the algorithm. And then guess what will happen? If you tag them in it, and you tag anybody else that knows them in it, guess what will happen? All of a sudden, yours becomes the post that gets all the traction for their birthday. So not only do they see it, but all their friends see it. And it doesn't matter how terrible you sing. In fact, the worse you sing, the better. Seriously, it's even better for engagement if your singing is terrible. But at the end of the day, they will really appreciate it. You'd be surprised, man. And it really does make a difference.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Absolutely. This is, and you can do it on Facebook Messenger. You can do it on, if they're not on Facebook, on social media, you can do it, on email or text. Text is probably the most common one for people that you probably have. But that's another thing, is that you should always make sure that you're setting aside, we were talking about time blocking there and social media. What I do occasionally is I have a day in the month that's set aside where I take a couple of hours and I go through my friends and I update, do I have a birthday for this person? I can see on Wise Agent, am I missing birthdays from people? And I can fill those birthdays in from Facebook. If I added any new friends in the last month, I add them, I make sure, like maybe we're only connected on social media. So then I add them in Wise Agent and I try and find out what's their phone number, what's the email, how was this connection made? What happened here? So then I'm making sure that I'm always following up with them. It's really simple, and time blocking will help you with that. And then this, social media that's just been around and it's still in its infancy, it's still only a decade old, really will help you with filling in some of these gaps. So that's a really key thing. We also have that lead enhancement. So if you have email addresses, we'll scrape social media for you so you can get their Facebook connection. And then you can request them on Facebook if you want to do that with your friends. Do you recommend, agents friend requesting their clients?
100%. Absolutely. You're crazy if you don't. Absolutely. You should friend request them. I don't friend request just any random person, right? I'm already at 5,000 people. So I have to, every time, what I do is I go through my Facebook, and when I see it's somebody's birthday, if I don't know who they are, if they haven't engaged with me, whatever, I just unfriend them. I know that sounds terrible, but I have to do that to free up space in my friends list. But you absolutely should be friending your clients 100%.
Definitely. And so what are some other daily routines that you recommend? So the time blocking is one thing, and making these phone calls. What is it? Is there something else that you recommend that they do in their business?
Nothing that the people are going to like to hear that are watching this, but I will promise you this: if you'll do what I'm about to tell you, you'll make more money. So, and can we all agree that the reason you're here is to make more money? The reason you're watching this right now is to make more money. So I'm a real estate coach, right? So this is what I do. I help people make more money, and I help them have a better life in the process, right? In fact, our core value at Club Wealth is that no success in the world can compensate for failure in the home. So watch this. If you're willing to put the work in, if I could show you how to make an extra 6 figures, actually, let's just put it this way. Whatever your goal is, however much money you want to make, if I could show you how to get there working 50 hours a week or less and taking your weekends and evenings off, would you do pretty much whatever I told you to do during those 50 hours? If the answer is yes, type in yes in your chat. If the answer is no, be like, heck no, I'm not doing that. Okay, I'm getting some yeses already. All right, watch this. This will be interesting. Okay, we're going to see how many of you are still a yes in a few minutes. This is good. This is good. Keep typing them in. I'm loving seeing all these yeses in here. All right, so here's the deal. You want to make more money? I'm going to show you right now how to make an extra 6 figures this year. Super simple. 2 things. Number 1, show up at the office every day. Actually, go to the office every day. Now, some of you are saying, "Oh, it's a trap. Don't do it."
Oh, no.
You know me, don't you? All right. So here's the thing. Check this out. But literally, go to the office, right? And I'm not suggesting you go, chit chat with people at the water cooler. That's the worst thing you can do. And if you don't have an office, Beth, get one. I want you around other people that are serious about their business, right? So I want you to get to the office every single morning. Now, if you're already doing that, here's what I want you to do. I want you to get there earlier. And by earlier, I really mean, because if you're getting to the office at 9, 10 o'clock, man, get there at 7 o'clock. If you're getting there at 7 o'clock already, start getting there at 6 o'clock, right? Get to the office an hour earlier. You'd be amazed at how much you can get done before everybody else shows up and all the distractions start to happen. And I'm telling you, just those 2 things, you'd be amazed at how big a difference those will make in your business. Then develop that perfect daily schedule and begin following it. I promise you this. I talk to people all over the country. I do events. I do about just 100, mid 100 to 200 events a year. Literally I talk to tens of thousands of real estate agents every year. And I'm telling you that every single one of them, I have this exact same conversation with. They always ask me, well, Michael, what's more important? Is it motivation or habits? And what do you guys think it is? It's not motivation. I can take somebody who's super motivated, and if they have bad habits, they're going to be broke. But I can take somebody who's, I can take Eeyore. You guys like Winnie the Pooh fans, right? Like if I got Tigger, and Tigger's got all the wrong habits, but Tigger's, bouncy, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do all this stuff. I'm super motivated, but I'm just bouncing around all over the place and not getting anything done, because I get bad habits. Well, Tigger's going to lose. But if I get Eeyore, who's just kind of ho-hum, just not very excited. But you know what? If I put him in the right habits, he'll outproduce Tigger all day long. Guys, it's all about the habits. 100% guarantee it. I mean, how does a 19-year-old kid do 97 listings in his first year selling real estate? He took 20 listings in January of this year alone. Just him. 20 listings. Guys, if he can do it, you can do it. Write this down. Write this down. What one man can do, another can do. What one man can do, another can do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that because I mean, and I love what you said about going to the office. It's not about, it is about being around a space where there's other people that are trying to do the same thing as you are. They have that same common goal as you. They want to be successful. When you surround, that means grandma in Greek. She used to say all the time, show me who your friend, and it doesn't translate maybe as well in English from Greek. Show me who your friend is, and I'll tell you who you are. Is that when you surround what is the English kind of is you're the sum of the 10 people that you hang out with the most. I mean, when you are hanging out with people that want to be successful, that will rub off on you, find yourself someone, an accountability coach, an accountability person, get yourself a coach. It really does make a difference because there's going to be someone there that says, hey, did you do this? Are you following a routine? Are you doing something every day to grow your business? Are you going through and making those phone calls and doing this? That then you become successful in things. That's
who
what
said it
success
best?
happens.
Jim Rohn said it best. For those of you that know who Jim Rohn is, he's a great famous philosopher, and he says, don't join an easy crowd. You won't grow. Go where the expectations and the demands to perform are high. The National Association of Realtors, for example, figured out, they do this study all the time. Every year they do these studies. And every year they come back with the average agent that has a coach outproduces the average agent without a coach by 11 times. Now, watch this, it gets even better. Not all coaches are created equal. The average coaching client at Club Wealth versus the average Tom Ferry coaching client, 10x. Guys, the people you associate with matters, right? You want to be around people that are producing at a higher level than you. Stop listening to people that haven't been where you want to go, right? Again, if you want to climb to the top of Mount Everest, you need a guide who's been there before. So if you want to make more money this year, here's the first thing you do. Stop listening to people who aren't making the kind of money you want to make and leading the kind of life you want to lead. Because money alone is not enough, right? There's plenty of people that make a ton of money, but they have a crud life, right? They're terrible with their family. The rest of their life's a train wreck, right? You don't want that, right? You want to have both. You want to have a great life and you want to make a lot of money, right? And so only take advice from people that lead the kind of life you want to lead and that make the kind of money you want to make and doing what you want to do. Yeah. I promise you guys, it's a game changer.
Absolutely.
Really. Yep.
Absolutely. I love all of that advice. And Michael, I'm excited because I'm going to be hanging out with you and your crew in a couple of weeks. I think it's April 2nd, April 3rd.
It's actually the 4th and 5th.
The 4th and 5th in Nashville at Listing Agent Bootcamp. Can you tell the audience a little bit about Listing Agent Bootcamp? And I know that we've got limited seating available, but Wise Agent does have a link. I think Sarah's going to be sharing it here in a second. And what would they be learning when they're at Listing Agent Bootcamp? Give them a little taste to see if they'll join us in Nashville.
Well, you're not wrong about the limited seating. We actually were supposed to only have 400 people at the event. We ended up selling 500 tickets and we're actually just over 500. We're shutting off the tickets tonight because we're more than sold out. And so we'll find a way to squeeze a couple more people in, but we can't, I can't sell 20 tickets today. I can't do that. That's not possible. We can't do that. That being said, what is Listing Agent Bootcamp? So it's first of all, if you've ever been to an industry event, you know that sometimes these industry events can kind of become a little rowdy. That's not our event. Okay. So we have a rule at our events. If you get sloppy, you go home and you don't ever come back. And so we kick people out of our events if they drink too much and get sloppy. People drink at our events and I'm fine with that. Great. Have a glass of wine with dinner or whatever, but don't get sloppy. Now, what are our events all about? They're for everybody. They're for team leaders, broker owners, solo agents, brand new agents, experienced agents, buyer agents, listing agents, administrative assistants. They're for everybody involved in your team. We have over, like I said, over 500 people that are going to be there. The average transaction count in that room is 200 agents or 200 transactions per agent per year is the average in that room. So you got some really big producers in the room. They're the most humble, nicest people you'll ever meet. Beth, it's the 4th and 5th of April. And that said, there's over 70 breakout sessions at this event. Now, just think about this for a minute. Let this sink in. There's literally over 70 classes, all of them taught by people that sell more real estate than most agents out there. I mean, we've got people teaching classes that literally have done over 1,000 transactions last year. I mean, just crazy numbers, right? That being said, the dates again are April 4th and 5th. The tickets are available online, and they're going to be shut off tonight. Now, if you have a youngster from 12 to 18 years old, I would recommend bringing them with you and then getting them signed up as well. We have our youth and leadership component to this event, and it's amazing. And the kids that come through this thing are amazing. Like my kid, my son owns a real estate company. My daughter owns a mortgage company. He's 20. He's getting ready to turn 21 this weekend. My daughter just turned 22. They came through that youth and leadership program. Another girl that came through the program, she's 22. She's got a property management company now with 77 doors under management. I mean, guys, you want your kids hanging around the right people too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Absolutely.
That being said, can I give them something for free?
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Let me give you something for free that'll help you right now. Okay. Watch this. How many of you type in 17? If you would like 17 of my best lead sources, type in 17 into your chat. I want to see how many I got to get. If I can get at least half the people on the call to type in 17, then I'll give you 17 of my best lead sources. And actually, I'll even do you one better. Tell you what, you guys type in 17, and what I'll do is I'll actually give you 31 of my best lead sources. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Grab your cell phone. Everybody grab your cell phone. Oh, I'm almost there. I need a couple more. Hold on. Give me 3 more and I'll do it. Give me 3 more. Come on. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Okay, good. We're there. All right. So here's what we're going to do. I just want to get some engagement out of you guys. I want to get you guys, interacting here. So here's what we'll do. I'll grab your phone and I want you to send a text message. You're going to send the words Club Wealth, 2 words, Club Wealth. You're going to send those words to the following phone number. It's 727-287-5993. I'll give it to you again. 727-287-5993. And if you send the words Club Wealth to that number, I will send you, then, well, I say my system, it's automated, right? Because I have a CRM, right? And so this is why you want a CRM, right? But it will send you 30, if you do it right now while we're on live, it'll send you 31 of our tops. We track about the top 110 lead sources in the country, and we'll send you 31 of them. It doesn't cost you anything. We'll just give them to you. And then if you wait, once we shut down the webinar today, if you wait until after that to text it, you'll still get the 17. But if you do it right now, I'll give you 31. Now, here's what I'm going to recommend. Don't try and implement all the lead sources at one time. You want to grab one, pick which one you feel like is going to be your favorite. Start with that. Get it automated, right? So you want to get it connected with Wise Agent so that it dumps.
Call Wise Agent to help you with it.
Yeah, that's right. Because you guys have people that will actually help them do that, right?
Yeah, 24/7.
Perfect. Then do that. Just call their people, have them have them dump it into your Wise Agent, and then make sure you set your follow-up up through Wise Agent. Get used to doing that, and then implement the next lead source, right? But don't try and just do them all at once because it'll be overwhelming. A lot of those are free lead sources too. Some of them you don't have to pay a dime unless you actually sell a house. So definitely you need to have lots of lead sources coming in. So
I love that. I love that. And I love, and this is what I like about, what we're doing here and what we do with our partners is that we practice what we preach. So when we say come at your clients, at your database with value, that's what we're doing here as well. Michael, I appreciate you sending this out to them. I hope you guys do that. I hope you guys send that message over to Michael and his team to get those lead sources. It's going to really help you. I hope you guys have taken some notes. This webinar was recorded. You're going to get a copy of this in your inbox, rewatch it, save it, so you guys can implement this into your business. It will make a difference. So, and then if you happen to be in Nashville next week, pop by, say hi to both Michael and myself. We'd love to hear how you guys are putting this into play in your business, even just for the first 2 weeks of it. I'd love to hear how that's working for you. Michael, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Appreciate your time, and I appreciate everyone for joining. I will be back on the podcast on April 13th at 10 a.m. with Andrea Lane, and we're going to be talking about mindset. So that's going to be a really cool discussion too. So thank you, everyone.
Right on. Thanks a lot, everybody. Appreciate you having me on, Eleni. Thank you very much.
All right. See you in a couple of weeks.
You bet.
All right. Bye.